And welcome back to another Paul's Aquariums unboxing video. I am Paul, this is Paul's Aquariums, aquarium shop in Brisbane, Australia for the last 26 years. We have lots of cool fish to unbox. Again, it is Friday night. Exciting stuff. Let's get, and before we do get started, if you didn't watch my video yesterday, which if you're watching this on upload, it would have been last night, more axolotls, baby axolotls. So you'll see a whole video of axolotl Mexican walking fish that aren't Mexican walking fish. They're Mexican tadpole salamandery things. Yes, in that video. But exciting stuff, more baby axolotls. Well, eggs and stuff like that. Anyway, first bag, what have we got? Ironically, from Mexico as well, kind of, well, they live down that sort of area. We have some platys, and these are really cool blue platys. Okay, I haven't even seen them. Oh, they're the Mickey Mouse platys. See the tail on a couple of those? Okay, blue Mickey Mouse platys, and they're called Mickey Mouse platys because of the Mickey Mouse ear thing on the tail. Hopefully boys and girls. I see girls, I see boys, yes. I see France. But we have boys and girls, really pretty little fish. So these are live bearers. They sort of are Central American, so Mexico and up a little bit and down a little bit, that sort of area. Well, southern Mexico, I should say, but that's still Mexico, isn't it? But they are a live bearing fish, which means they give birth to live babies. They want the pH anything from about 7 to about 7.4, 7.5, so slightly more alkaline. They don't like the water very acidic. But very, very easy fish to look after. And they're going to survive water a little bit cool as well because they're sort of temperate. So they're going to sort of tolerate 16 degrees, maybe a little bit colder for a little while. Below 10 degrees, they really, really don't like life, but they will hold on for a little bit. Their ideal temperature is between 20 and 26 degrees Celsius. And yeah, pH-wise, slightly alkaline, and you can't go wrong. So quite a few people keep these in ponds, but if you have like a really cold spell and then you have hail or something in the middle of winter, that is the end of your platys in southeast Queensland. But you can keep them technically inside, unheated, as long as it doesn't get too cold. So if you live in the middle of Ipswich or somewhere freezing cold, maybe have a heater for them, but aim for that 20 to 25 degrees, 26 degrees Celsius, and they will go fine. And they are really, really cool platys. Nice blue color. If you breed blue and blue together, most of the babies are going to be blue. I'm pretty sure we have different ones in here as well. Looks like there's some wagtail platys, which are the ones with the black tails, and some sunsets, and maybe a few salt and pepper platys. There's another blue one in there, so there's a bit of a mixture. And they are the same fish, just different colors of the same fish. So platys are going to max out about that sort of 5-6 centimeters, live for about 2.5 years, but a very easy fish to keep. If you have a lot of males, they're going to harass each other, so try and have males and females. Lots of heavily planted areas so they can get away from each other and they will be fine. Very cool little temperate community fish if you want something colorful and platy-ish. So another fish from Mexico. Okay, we've got a theme now, swordtails, and it looks like we have, they're not really Mickey Mouse swordtails. They've got sort of a half mark on the tail, but swordtails are like a big version of a platy. They are a different fish. Swordtails are going to get a lot bigger, so about 8 to 10 centimeters on average, and the males have the very cool sword to them, hence why they're called swordtails. So only the males have the sword, the females don't. Again, they're live bearers like the platys. Temperature-wise, about the same sort of thing, so 10 degrees all the way up to nearly 30 degrees Celsius, and pH-wise, slightly alkaline, so 7 to 7.5, they will be perfectly fine. But if you want some really, really cool live bearers, swordtails are pretty awesome, and I did see, oh yes, we have a big bag of black swordtails. So not only have we got the red swordtails, we've got black swordtails and a few other different colors. So a good week if you want some live bearing, very hardy fish that have little tiny babies, easy to keep, easy to grow, easy to breed. And we've jumped to clown loaches. Okay, so clown loaches are a Southeast Asian fish, pretty awesome little things. Now we do get quite a lot of these come and go. Look at the pattern on them. They're pretty awesome. Now they're called a clown loach because they sort of act clowny in the tank. What does that even mean? No, they don't have little red noses. No, their noses aren't red. They're sort of clown loach colored noses. But they sort of lie down on their side. They sort of look like they're half dead. Clowning around, apparently. Yeah, that's a really, really loose term of clown, isn't it? But they will get a decent size. They're going to get about 30, 40 centimeters, but it takes them absolutely ages. So A good 30-40 centimetre fish is probably like 30 years old. So they go through growth spurts as well. These are probably like 4 to 5 centimetres. Expect them to double in a year on average, and then they may not grow for 6 months, and all of a sudden they'll double in size after a few months. So very, very random. In the wild, they sort of range in temperature and pH. So pH-wise, they'll go from 6.5 to 7.5, depending on rainy season, non-rainy season. They do migrate in the wild as well, so they will tolerate the water a little bit wider range than what a lot of other fish will. And temperature-wise, they are a tropical fish. So anything from, let's say, 22 degrees up to about 26, 28 degrees Celsius, and they will be fine. Schooling fish, so you want a group of them, so try and get like 3 or 6 or more. Very awesome at eating snails as well. And as I said, they get big, so you don't want to mix them with tiny, tiny little fish. They're going to eat neon tetra sized things, guppies and that as they mature. When they're small like this, they're okay with smaller fish, but obviously they grow, and when they grow, they eat little fish. Another fish that eats little fish are red tiger Oscars. Okay, these are South American, and they have the pH anything from 6 to 7. These are the really awesome pet Oscar fish that a lot of people have had over the years. They're a pretty popular tropical fish. They're going to max out about 30-40 centimeters on average. Sometimes they get like up to 50 centimeters, but let's say 30 to 40 centimeters is a standard size for an Oscar, and they have a big mouth. So one that's about 30 centimeters is going to eat a good 8 to 10 centimeter fish if they can catch it. Very awesome. They're called a red tiger Oscar because as they mature, they go black with sort of that red pattern, the squiggly sort of tigery pattern, goes nice and bright red. Really nice fish. You can keep them with a lot of South American cichlids and a lot of sort of schooling tetras like silver dollars and bigger barbs and so on and so on. But an all-round awesome fish. You want at least 200 litres for one, so about a 4-foot tank or bigger for an Oscar for their whole entire life. And they're going to live 10-15 years as well. Really, really cool fish if you want something friendly that interacts with you and is a pet fish, because they are a pet fish. Okay, we got more, and apparently last time we got these, I got in trouble because I took some home. Ooh, no, not by anyone at home, but by customers coming in wanting them after we had sold out. I'm sorry, but we have more. I think we only got up to 30 of them. I'm not entirely sure how many are in there, but these are Albino Cardinal Tetras. Super, super awesome. If you saw my video, I think 3 or 4 days ago, if you're watching this on upload, my fish room at home, I had to think about what it was then. My fish room at home, I have a group of these growing up to breed them, but they are like a normal Cardinal Tetra, but they're albino. Why is that exciting, you say? Well, because all the brown in that buggers off, and you have a really nice whitey sort of coloured fish with the blue stripe and the red belly and stripe on the tail. So really, really impressive fish. They glow in a planted tank. Really pretty. They're going to get a little bit bigger than a neon tetra, which is the red and blue tetra things that everyone sort of sees. And they like the water a little bit more acidic. So pH-wise, 5.5 to 6.8 roughly, and temperature-wise, 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. But they're going to get a good sort of maybe 5-6 centimeters. So a lot bigger than a neon tetra, like the water a little bit warmer and a little bit more acidic, but really, really pretty fish. And they look a decent size. They look bigger than the ones I took home. Why? I'm not going to take any of these home. So if you're watching this on unboxing night, which is now, come and get some of these tomorrow on the weekend. Awesome, awesome fish. Okay, we didn't run out last week, but we have more Otocinclus Catfish in, so we won't run out this week, hopefully. So if you don't know about Otocinclus Catfish, they are a small South American catfish. They max out about that sort of 3 to 4 centimeters. Awesome little algae eaters. They eat algae, they eat biofilm. So if you've got like a lot of fluffy, weird stuff in your tank, a lot of driftwood in that, these guys and girls are perfect. They will just spend all their time on the driftwood, munching away, making everything lovely and clean. Don't damage plants unless the plant is dying already, then they're going to munch away at the dead leaves and so on and so on. And they're not going to eat fish unless there's a completely half-dead dying fish. They're going to sit on top of it and maybe a little taste. Just a little taste. But otherwise, super peaceful, schooling, tropical again, so 22 to 26 degrees Celsius. pH-wise, anything from 6 to 7, and they will be fine. Lovely schooling fish, so try and get a group of 3 or 6 or more. And yeah, don't get any bigger than that, 3 to 4 centimeters, so perfect for little nano aquariums if you want a little algae eater that doesn't get big like a bristlenose and all the other common ones. But Otocinclus Catfish. And we have some zebra Danios. These are Longfin zebra Danios. Okay, so these are one of the nicer ones because the long fins make them look about double the size of a normal Danio. and they have really nice silver and blue stripes to them. I know, it's sort of like a navy blue and a nice metallic silver, schooling, peaceful, awesome fish. Now these are very hard, no they're not hard, hardy, which is like hard with extra bits on the end of it. These are very hardy fish, and they're going to survive anything from 10 degrees Celsius all the way up to nearly 30 degrees Celsius, and pH wise anything from 6 to about 7.5 or so on average, maybe even a little bit more alkaline. What you don't want to do with them is jump them from one temperature to another or one pH to another, like any fish for example, but they will tolerate a big range. And they're schooling, so you want a group of 3, 5, 6 or more sort of thing. Super peaceful, they're not going to harass anything, but they are forever swimming, so they go back and forward in your tank, spend most of the time on the surface and mid in the tank, but they're going to go down to the bottom to eat food and all that sort of stuff as well. So you want a super hardy fish, you don't necessarily have to heat, and as long as your water quality is stable, these will last for a good fair few years. And the longfin ones just look awesome, like lots of fins, always moving, very easy to keep, and yeah, easy to feed and everything like that. Longfin zebra Danios. And we have finally more betta fish. It seems like a while since we've had any male betta fish. We've had quite a few different females. Now, oh, okay, I'm gonna probably have to show you individual cups of these, so let me open them up and show you. Okay, so these are all deltas, and delta just means the weird sort of tail to them, as you can sort of see with that one. That is a really nice looking fish. So these are all male betta fish, and the difference between the males and the females obviously is the females, well, not really obvious, but the females are fine in groups, where the males, they prefer a tank just for themselves. They'll build a little nest of bubbles and they like to chase any fish away. So sometimes you can get away with keeping them with a few snails, maybe a catfish or two, but they generally don't like any fish in their territory. So if you've got them in a tank with a lot of other fish, they kind of stress very easy. So we recommend keeping the males just in a nice 30-40 litre tank with just heavily planted, and they will go really well. Look, really well. Look how lovely that one is. So that is a really nice orange delta male. These are pretty fish. So these are tropical fish. You want to keep them anything from 22 degrees up to about 30 degrees Celsius. That is a really nice red tail, isn't it? So I think we have a fair few. I think we've got probably about, oh, look at the metallic blue on that one. That is a nice looking betta fish. Yes, okay, I haven't actually seen any of these yet, so I'm sort of looking at them for the first time with you. There's another normal, nice blue colored one. So we keep these in the system behind me over there, which is about 60-70 litres, and the water drips through the little tiny containers. There's a heater and a filter down the bottom. So you don't really want to keep them in bowls or anything like that, like they used to in the past, mainly because they do better in a bigger volume of water. There is another sort of metallic-y blue one. Anyway, I may do a little bit of footage of them on the screen right now so you can see all the different ones that we've got, but I think there's another 20 to 30 or so different male betta fish. I think we've still got some female deltas and half moons down there as well. So if you're passing and want some betta fish, good time for betta fish. Now we're going to turn the camera around, show you what these weird things are behind me, which is kind of cool because they are a new product, and yeah, have not actually seen them before. So yeah, look at that. Is that weird? Would you drink that? I wouldn't drink that. That is a container with moss. So it's a new way of packaging. Yeah, it is like a drink container, and it has got, I'm guessing, hydroponic solution, something like that, and it has live moss. I think that's peacock moss, that's Java moss. Apparently there's a huge range of mosses, and you get a decent amount of moss. I think these retail Australian for about $25 to give you an idea. But moss, I know, we have lots of moss, only just come in, exciting stuff. Anyway, let's turn the camera around, show you that, and show you some other cool stuff. So I have never actually seen anything like this before. Apparently it's called plant pod, yes, and a couple of different types of moss. Apparently there's going to be about 11 or 12 different types of moss, and then there's going to be other different aquatic plants available. So yes, packaged in Australia, for Australia. How weird is that? So that is peacock moss. If I can sort of get it underneath the light so you can actually see what it looks like. Yeah, it's like a can that is sealed, so obviously some sort of hydroponic solution inside it. I have opened one up and checked the water quality and it seems okay. So I think, what have we got? We've got Java moss and we have peacock moss. Is it peacock moss? Yes, it was peacock moss. I know, I just said peacock moss, but moss. There are a lot of different species of moss. So these are true aquatic mosses, but they will grow out of the water in a moist area as well. How awesome is that? So yeah, retail for I think about $25.95 a bottle. I think these are about 500 ml to give you an idea, but you get a decent amount of moss. If we can sort of, trying to get light so we can sort of see what it looks like. There we go. Well, that is the Java moss inside there. So you get an okay amount, and it's going to be super cool once they have all these different types of mosses available. I'm not too sure when they're going to be available. We've only just got these in, and I think I've only got about 20 or so available. Obviously pick up only because we don't ship plants or livestock, but if you're watching this on upload, yeah, come in and get some cool moss, because that is a weird, different way of selling moss. A little bit different than the tissue culture, and if you haven't seen tissue culture before, that's what these little things are, which is just a plant growing in a tissue culture cup. This is a lot different. I think this is just packaged like this. Yeah, super weird, but moss, how exciting. Anyway, now that we've seen that, we're going to show you a whole lot of different awesome fish that have come in during the week and obviously have missed the unboxing videos because they either turn up just before or just after I upload in a video. Now we still have some absolutely awesome ranchus. I'm surprised they're still here because look how awesome some of these are. Look at the blue on that one. Now these are goldfish. They're the weird little old men goldfish that you saw in my last unboxing. If you didn't see that, they are just super cool, weird shaped goldfish. I hope that blue one doesn't sell because I kind of want to take some of these home. They're just weird. Can you imagine that at like 15, 20 centimeters? It's just going to look ridiculous. But anyway, we did get some awesome little fantails. Look how tiny they are. So a fantail is just a different type of goldfish. They have the double belly. No, wait, they have the double tail and they have the single belly, but it's a little pot belly. I know, there are a few different sort of colors obviously in here. So we've got weird shabunkins with the beady black eyes. They're called a pink shabunkin. But that is a pink shabunkin fantail. Yep, lots of words for the same fish. There's a few calicos, there's a few red and white fantails. They're all going to get pretty huge. They're going to get around that 20 to 30 centimeters. Great big goldfish, but at the moment they're only tiny. Really awesome. Now we did get, if we come around here, some bigger goldfish. Hurrah! So these are around about 15, maybe 16 centimeters. Now they're going to get a lot bigger than what you see. There's a fair few of them. They're mostly just your normal red comets. And a red comet is obviously orangey red, kind of, sort of. Called a comet because it's got the long tail at the back. So as they get bigger, they get a longer tail and longer fins. So these guys and girls are going to get a lot bigger than that. They're going to max out about 30 centimeters, maybe 40 centimeters for a big goldfish. To put that in perspective, these tanks are 60 centimeters, so about half the size of the tank is how big these goldfish are going to get. Really nice red and white one. Look at that. That is a lovely looking goldfish. So they are all available now. Lots and lots of cool stuff. I still have a few stingrays as well. So maturos, males and females. These are freshwater stingrays. They will get huge. They're going to get around about 2 foot diameter with a 2 foot tail. So you'll need a tank that is at least 3 foot front to back, if not 4 foot front to back, and about 6 to 8 foot long just for one. Yes, they get huge. Yes, they're awesome. And yes, they have a venomous little barb on their tail. Look at that. Don't get stung by them. They are venomous, but they are super awesome. Now, we've got a whole lot of other fish as well. We've still got some of the brilliant rummy nose. Now, this is the weirdest thing. Okay, when you have a retail shop, you have lots and lots of cool fish come and go. We had these last week, which are the brilliant rummy nose. I really want to take some home. I've never actually kept this species. They're like a normal rummy nose tetra, which has the red nose and the stripy tail. But the brilliant rummy nose have more of a speckly sort of color to them. Yeah, it is a speckly color, isn't it? And really nice sort of iridescent blue to them. They get bigger than a normal rummy nose, same sort of water quality, so it's slightly acidic and nice and warm. Look at them. We actually sold out of normal rummy nose within a day or two of getting them. But these, I think we've only sold one lot, and they're, what, $8.85 for $40 Australian. So yeah, half of that if you're watching from America. If you want to translate, no, it's not translate. If you want to convert Australian dollars to American dollars, it's roughly, I think, about half at the moment, something weird like that. But how absolutely awesome are they? If you want a nice, awesome little tetra. And Along here, if we can sort of zoom in the moss, because yeah, we have a lot of plants in our tanks. These are our swordtail tanks. We have some really nice pearl Danios or blue Danios. Again, nice blue fish, very, very pretty, super fast. They will only max out around about that sort of 8 centimeters, 6 centimeters sort of size. Let's say 6 centimeters, 8 centimeters is a bit of a stretch. Really nice, peaceful, got the blue in them. They've got like an orange pattern to them, like a line and little squiggly bits to them. Really, really nice community fish if you want something a little bit different. And they're not too expensive either. I think they're like $6.60, or you can get 5 of them for $30. Schooling fish, you want to keep your pH anything from 6.5 to about 7.2 or so, slightly alkaline, and temperature-wise, anything from 20 to about 26 degrees, they will be perfectly fine. Now, we still have, going with the blue and purple theme, some really nice Kerry Tetras, and they're the ones with the black stripe in here and sort of the purpley hue to them. So they came in the last unboxing as well. Everyone has kind of ignored them, but they are really, really nice Tetras. Yeah, as they get bigger, and they're going to max out about 6 centimeters or so, they will get even more iridescent sort of purpley blue to them. A really nice, lovely Tetra if you want something a little bit cool. The ones with the red eyes in here are lemon Tetras, and they will get a nice yellowy tinge to them as well. And they have yellow and black on their dorsal fin and anal fin, which is their bottom fin bit place. Yes, it is. Of course it is. Kerry Tetras are 5 for $35, and again, schooling fish. And the lemon Tetras are 5 for $25. So not overly expensive if you want a really, really cool Tetra for your tank. And if you've seen my last video on all the baby axolotls that we just got, yes, we got more axolotl eggs. These are the original babies. How lovely is that? Starting to develop color. That one's probably going to go all black. Hopefully it stays that really cool motley purple color. They are looking like axolotls. So in the last couple of weeks, they've developed their back legs and their front legs. Check out that weird axanthic one, which is like a yellow albino. And I'm pretty sure there is a pure albino one in here as well. These are a little bit too small to sell because they're currently eating live blackworms. Once they're onto pellets, they're going to be available. You just try and eat your brother or sister. And that is the problem with keeping a lot of baby axolotls together. The big ones try and eat the little ones. Don't go near his mouth as I say that. Oh no, no. Well, one that size is not overly going to try and eat one that size. And the good thing with axolotls is if they bite a leg off, it actually grows back. Kind of very, very bizarre. If you haven't seen my axolotl video that I posted, I think yesterday, it'll just go through how these tanks are set up with the chiller, the canister filter, and it's pretty straightforward. And yes, we did get a lot of axolotl eggs, so we're gonna figure out where they're all going soon. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, click the thumbs up so I know. If you've got any questions or any comments, comment down below and I'll get back to you. And thanks heaps for all my members. If you want to become a member on the channel, you get a special members code and you get 10% off absolutely everything. If you want to be a member, you just have to subscribe and click the little join button and go from there. And we will see you in any of those videos. Thanks heaps for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.